حال حبوبك؟ الله يسلمك. اتعرف حضرتك؟ الله يحفظك. الله.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Collage. It's Thursday, and it's that time of week where we get to meet for a full hour, trying to bring you all our fabulous topics that we have lined up for you each and every single episode. We try to bring you the best, only for the best. I'm very excited about tonight's guest because it's been approximately around 2 years since our guest was with us here on Collage. She was one of our first guests right here on the program, and I'm glad to have her back again right here on Collage. She's taught me personally a lot, and a lot of people have benefited from her knowledge and from her experience with her certain field. So I'm really looking forward to our interview for this evening with lifestyle and beauty, because lifestyle is very, very important. We don't take care of our bodies, our way of life, and of ourselves, then we'd have to suffer a lot of consequences that we try to prevent. So with us here tonight is going to be Mrs. Maria Gonnet, of course a nutritional consultant, and we're going to talk a little bit about that aspect, but later on in tonight's show. So we have so much lined up for you, plus of course let's not forget all of our usual segments right here on Collage. So we're now going to go for a very short break, and we'll be right back, so stay tuned. All right, we're back right here on Collage, and of course that's our fax number and our email address. They're going to be on your screens throughout tonight's show, so if you'd like to jot them down and send us in your comments and your suggestions, please feel free to do so. Or if you have any basically questions for our guests as well, please do so. Just pop us in an email or a fax. I'd like to introduce our guest for this evening, for this week right here on Collage. As I mentioned, I'm very thrilled to have her back on the show. With us here tonight is Mrs. Maria Gonnet. Mrs. Maria is a nutritional consultant, but a very unique one, not the traditional nutritional consultant. So welcome to Collage.
Thank you so much, Shema, and it's a pleasure to be here again.
Well, it's wonderful to have you back on the show, and it's been 2 years, approximately 2 years now. You were one of our very first guests right here on Collage. And I've personally learned a lot from you, whether it's from our previous interview or, our little chats that we have every now and then. And I guess, there's so much to educate people on how to become better and healthier people when it comes to whether it's their physical state of mind or their spiritual, because it all affects, I think it's all a circle. Everything affects one another. The mental and physical well-being, emotional well-being is all affected by nutrition, way of life, and etc. So just a quick reminder to our viewers, can you tell us a little bit about your strategies, basically what you use when it comes to, being a nutritional consultant?
Okay. Myself, or what I use for my patients, or both?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I believe that the main issue is diet.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, we cannot overlook this aspect no matter what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Exercise is a very important point in everyone's life, and if we do combine both, then the results are fantastic. We can and we should look into prevention rather than cure, because prevention is has tremendous value.
Of course.
I believe that the biggest value in our life is our health, and how we go about it reflects greatly on it. A lot of people nowadays are not enjoying good health due to environmental problems, environmental pollution in our food, stress, physical stress, emotional stress. Many people say, well, we are stressed out, we are overworked, we are tired, but there are remedies for all of those problems. Actually, I have the pleasure tonight to introduce people to one of the products which I landed recently on that may help a lot of people combat stress.
And the current problems of life.
And the current problems of life. Combat stress, combat overweight, problem with overweight, problem with many different diseases. As a preventive measure.
As a preventive measure.
Yes.
That's the thing. I think people should really focus on, okay, let's not reach a stage when we're doing something wrong. And we know we're doing it wrong. I mean, we don't think before we eat something or before we live a certain lifestyle. And then we just, get shocked that your body starts falling apart. And it's calling for help. It's telling you you're doing something wrong, So that's when people start waking up a little bit. And, and unfortunately, some don't even realize where they're going wrong and don't change any part of their lifestyle. Therefore, they will remain sick and they will establish more and more other conditions.
Unfortunately, we are habitual beings, and it's so difficult to change certain habits. However, more and more people are being aware that there is simply no other way. We can try to find easy answers. We all fall for easy answers, like swallowing a pill and hoping to get well. But if we do not go to the core of the problem and do not remove it, we will not be healed.
Of course, that's true. And also, Mrs. Ghanet, part of your strategy is you believe in all natural.
Right.
Everything that we need, God has created for us from Mother Nature.
Correct.
So that is when it comes to either a lifestyle or in cases as well for cures to a lot of conditions.
Correct. Yes. I believe that we were given immune system to heal ourselves, and if we do support it, we can heal many different problems without side effects. And we were given wonderful bodies. If we do maintain it, if we take care of it, it will last us a long, long time. Unfortunately, what I see around me, many children get sick in an early age from overdose of antibiotics, from overdose of drugs, or improper nutrition, lack of exercise, lack of fresh air, and it carries on through a lifetime. Parents cannot enjoy healthy children, they cannot enjoy raising healthy future generation because of health problems.
Right.
All of it can be avoided.
And if they think about it, I think a little bit, they would notice, okay, errors when it comes to their lifestyle, if it's exercise, if it's taking the children to play outdoors more to get fresh air, to get a lot of oxygen into their system, all of that. So, I think it's a lot of things, and it all goes back to your lifestyle, and it's definitely something that we're all doing wrong.
Correct. So, perhaps not all, but many of us, yes, most of us. However, as I told you before, more and more people are starting to be aware, and they are trying to make changes, and they are starting to understand that we cannot live without exercise, we cannot live without physical activity, and what we put in, we get out.
Of course, that's true. Well, we'll have more to talk about, so much more to talk about with you tonight. It's always very enjoyable to talk with you about all of your wonderful ideas and concepts, and I know, your experience with this topic has helped a lot of people and in changing their lifestyles in general. I know a lot of people have been very grateful to the way you've transformed their lives.
My pleasure.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about one of the very important points that we have mentioned, which is oxygen.
Right.
So we'll leave that. But right now we're going to go to our social segments right here on Collage. Each and every week we have a certain question that we ask our dear viewers. This week it is, what do you think of private tutoring? So let's go and see what your answers were.
Well, Shayma, this week's topic is about children. You probably realize that a lot of children are getting private lessons and private tutoring. Let's see what people here thought about that topic.
I think it's good for children to have private grades, and it's good.
In my opinion, the private lessons for children or for girls and boys help us to know more about their lessons that they listen in their schools, and help us to know more about these lessons that they can't understand inside the class. Okay, because the class in schools here in Kuwait more crowded with pupils, okay, and girls, and they must know about their lessons more and more. Okay, a pupil can't understand in his class, so he needs for these private lessons. Here or his parents tell the teacher that he must give the boy or the girl more time to make the pupil or the girl understand these lessons that he can't understand inside the class.
Well, it's not good, because it will give some chances for some students to understand the subject more than the others. This is one. Second thing, some of their parents, they don't have money. They cannot offer to get or to hire some teacher to give their chance to study. This is the second thing. Third thing, we see these things, it's coming from the early stages, like, in lower stages in the high school. They start, teaching their children by some professional teachers, and they start, asking for more money. And it's not good, it's not fair for the people to have, such a bad habit, or we call it, it's some new habits for this society or for this country even.
It's actually it's very bad. That's if all the time I'm just the teachers come to my house and they teach my children, and I just forget to teach my children about their lesson, what they are taking in the school. But also it's good things on the other side, that I'm trying to help my child or my children's for good marks, take the good marks, or to be the best students in the class. But I told something. This thing it was not happening before the occupation. After the liberations, this thing happened according, maybe because of some teachers. I mean, I'm talking about my teacher before 1960 or 70. We have a good teachers. But after the liberation, sorry to say this, we have some not qualified teachers for some lessons. So this is why the students they need more lessons. They need more qualified teachers to teach them the new classes.
I agree with it if needed.
Sometimes it's good and sometimes bad. Some subjects we need private lessons, like physics, chemistry, and chemistry, biology. But English or Arabic we don't need.
And those were our answers for today's question. In my opinion, it's really up to the parents to really judge if that child needs private lessons or not. Now back to you, Shayma.
Okay, we're back, dear viewers, and of course that was the general outlook on private tutoring or private lessons, however you'd like to, refer to them. I don't know, Maria, what do you think, personally, on a personal note?
About tutoring?
Private tutoring.
I believe there is not much room in my concept of education for private tutoring. I believe children should be taught in school and understand. However, there is a lot of room for parents' input. I have raised my 2 children quite successfully, and we monitored their studies. We made a specific plan for studies, and we give our children a hand when they did not understand certain topics, because on occasion children would not understand, for example, mathematics or physics, or then they need to have someone to assist them. I never had to use private tutoring for my children. I do not believe it's needed.
Okay, excellent. Well, that's my opinion too. Although I have to be very, in the middle. I usually act like Switzerland here, but no, I do have an opinion on quite a lot of things, and I do express them. But one thing which I never believed in, because I went through it for a little bit when I lived abroad, and they tell you have to take it. I'm like, but I don't understand why. You have your books and you have the teacher, and you should be able to learn all by yourself. But apparently just some people are very based on it, and it becomes like an unwritten rule where yes, you need to take private tuition, and I just don't like it very much, private tutoring. So I personally don't believe it's a wonderful way to raise children, because they become dependent on other people and not on themselves to get the education that they should get, or work their brains at least. Well, back to working brains. Brains need energy and need fuel, and that's what we're talking about here today. And we were saying about basically lifestyles and all of that, and we said we were going to talk about something that is very important, and that is a problem with all of us, because we all need a certain element in order to live, which is basically the air we breathe, and that is the oxygen from the air we breathe. So I believe that recently you have stumbled on something that is a revolutionary breakthrough, if you'd like to call it that.
Fantastic, yes. It's a basic element.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
I'm sorry for interruption.
No, go ahead.
Because I do design specific programs, nutritional programs for my clients, I found out with many of my clients that they do have some problem in implementing the programs because they lack energy.
Right.
In many cases they lack energy. Now on my last visit to Canada, I have discovered an aerobic oxygen which helps a lot in addressing this kind of problem.
Which is fatigue?
Which is fatigue, stress, and lack of energy. I find this to be a fantastic product. I use it as a supplement, not as a drug, not as a medicine, not to replace your medical advice or your medicine. However, it helps a lot in many ways, in many aspects of our life, as well as ill health. It is stabilized form of oxygen. Actually, I would like to read few sentences from the brochure which I prepared, so some of the vital information does not escape us, and people will be able to get better education. We get fantastic results, and it is very easy to use. I can show you a little bottle which is portable, and actually you can carry it in your purse.
And it's in liquid form.
It's a liquid form of oxygen, right. This is aerobic oxygen, has been stabilized in a non-toxic liquid form exclusively by a Canadian manufacturer. Oxygen is a breath of life, and every day we are being deprived of it. A respected nutritional researcher, Dr. Stephen Levin, has stated that we can look at oxygen deficiency as the single greatest cause of all disease. Lack of oxygen strangles the immune system. Besides being a life giver, oxygen also selectively kills harmful anaerobic infectious bacteria.
So it can work like an antibiotic.
Exactly. Unlike drugs and antibiotics, oxygen does not harm the beneficial bacteria, which is essential for good health, like acidophilus, which is essential for essential in your stomach digestion for digestive purposes. The destruction of the beneficial intestinal bacteria is one of the greatest causes of ill health. The initial symptoms of oxygen deficiency are as follows. Overall body weakness, muscle aches, circulatory problems, memory loss, poor digestion, bronchial problems, bacterial, viral and parasitic infection, lowered immunity to colds, flu and infections that a lot of people experience, depression, dizziness, fatigue, acid stomach and irritability. It is specifically recommended in hot weather countries due to air being depleted of oxygen.
It's true, and the hotter it gets.
Yes. Actually, we are spending a lot of time indoors, and that depletes us of oxygen. In our atmosphere, there is not enough oxygen as it is. Plus, we're spending a lot of time indoors, and even if we go outdoors for short periods of time, we do not inhale enough oxygen. Now, we are used to getting oxygen by breathing process. This is a different way by digestive tracts. You can also receive oxygen.
Get the oxygen as well.
Exactly. By taking on an average 20 drops 3 times a day, I'm saying on an average, this is for an average person, not for children. Children depending on body weight. People have reported benefits in the following areas: weight control and weight loss. This is a big problem in Kuwait, and oxygen can greatly assist in weight loss and weight control due to enhancing the metabolism of
the person's system.
The person's system, the metabolic functions, so you metabolize your food much better.
In a better way.
Yes.
That's true.
Oxygen is needed by every cell of our body. Actually, also for energy production. You need oxygen
to rejuvenate as well.
To rejuvenate, of course. And when cell does not get enough oxygen, it resorts to different ways of getting energy, and one of them is fermentation of sugar. And that in turn leads to deterioration of cell, which causes illness, causes all kinds of illnesses in the system. So if you do have enough oxygen in the system, that protects you from problems, from health problems, as well as it gives you enough energy to exercise and to be interested in your body, to be interested in your health.
I'm sure. So that's like the one of the main things, of course, not only, as you mentioned, I mean, being let's say, low on oxygen as your system, that's basically the essence of life. You know, you need oxygen to live.
It's one of the main elements.
Exactly.
Of life.
So you need it for basically all the aspects when it comes to your body. You know, and I think just before, just a little interruption here. You know, a lot of things when people do complain about is lack of oxygen, or they always feel lousy or fatigue, or they don't want to move, or they just don't feel like it, and you feel that something's wrong. You know, some people just and then a lot of people do suffer, end up getting into a state of depression due to their lack of exercise, and as people have discovered right now, lack of oxygen as well, because you're not receiving the proper amount of air and oxygen in your system, you're not exercising, you're not leading a healthy life. Therefore, you will get depressed, because depression is also influenced by your nutrition. Your psychological well-being is it's based on your nutrition and your lifestyle. So I guess that's one of the main things that a lot of people complain about, especially here in Kuwait. And well, let's not say there isn't enough oxygen in the air, but because there isn't. I mean, due to Kuwait being a hot country, it's a lot greener than what it used to, but it's still it's still not a very green country either. So and that's where usually you get your oxygen from a lot of green. You know, when you have a lot of greens, you get a lot of oxygen.
We also have polluted air.
And polluted air, let's not forget. I think that's a worldwide problem right now. But
oxygen also contributes to detoxification of the system. If you have enough oxygen, then you do not have we all have bacteria, viruses, parasites in our system. But in the well-oxygenated body, they do not thrive.
Right.
They do not have a chance to destroy your system or a chance to live and spread. Doctors use oxygen for different purposes. Little children, prematurely born, are put in incubators to provide oxygen, sufficient amount of oxygen, so it destroys the bacteria. Because the weak system cannot support, cannot fight the bacteria. The immune system is still too weak. Therefore, if you put a child in an incubator that provides oxygen, that oxygen eliminates bacteria.
That's true. Well, that's wonderful. Before we move on, because I want to take like each step in depth, because of course, as we know, this is something that is wonderful, and it's provided right now, and I think it's a wonderful concept that people should start, I think we want to take it a little bit more in depth, so people can know exactly what we're talking about and think about it a little bit. And of course, very grateful that such a product is available at the moment. But to explain it in depth, we're going to go for a little break with our medical segment. Now, this is unfortunately, we try our very best to prevent such a thing, but for this week we're actually taking you to a very beautiful country. Our medical segment this week comes to you from the German Diagnostic Center, or Clinic, sorry. So it's a German Diagnostic Clinic, and that is in Wiesbaden in Germany. It's a beautiful place, it's a wonderful place, and we know a lot of people right now are going to basically hospitals and clinics, especially in Germany. It has become a hotspot for medication at the moment due to their various ways, and they're basically it's highly in technological medical ways that they have there available in Germany. So right now we're going to go and take a closer look at the German Diagnostic Clinic in Wiesbaden, Germany.
The DKD, which means German Diagnostic Clinic, is a traditional institution that has been founded in 1969. And the initial concept is to put together all the disciplines in medicine, operative and non-operative, under one roof. So if the patient comes in, we identify the major problem, and then one of the specialists becomes, so to say, the elected specialist in charge. And he is guiding the diagnostic and the therapeutic process. And with the fact that we do have all the disciplines, the neighbor disciplines, under one roof, this is quite easy to get even very difficult and complicated problems solved within an appropriate time. We have 35,000 patient contacts per year. 5,000 of those patients get an operation. 20,000 are pure on an ambulatory outpatient basis, and the rest is partial inpatient subjects that live in a hotel and get the diagnostic problem solved in our environment of a big clinic. But the trick of the whole organization is that we have only a limited number of beds, so we solve complicated problems without being an ordinary hospital.
All right, we're back, and of course that was our medical segment for you for this week, and a little bit of a twist there for you. This came to you from Wiesbaden, Germany, and of course that was the German Diagnostic Clinic at Wiesbaden. So, you know, Maria, we were talking, the thing is, you know, when it comes to one thing I've noticed Europe, and we're just in Germany at the moment talking about Germany and you know, where we got our medical report from for this week. But people do, it's a lifestyle, you see. And unfortunately, when you look at Europe in general, you know, I won't even take the United States into consideration, but Europe and maybe other countries, but because Europe is blessed with a lot of green, and people walk a lot.
Correct.
They walk like I have never seen people walk like that before in my life, you know. Even if they're not healthy people and they do everything wrong, but they walk a lot. They have the energy to walk day in and day out for hours and hours, and that's their lifestyle, you know. Unlike us here, we take the car to go to the grocery store at the end of the street, which is, you know, become a lifestyle. You don't see a lot of that taking place. People don't walk for exercise, let's say in Europe. They walk for just because they get from one place, that's their means of transportation, by walking or just enjoying maybe the outdoors and walking, whether taking a walk with their friends or their families or just getting from one place to another. Now, that, of course, gives them a lot of oxygen.
Exactly. Physical activity provides oxygen. And after a good workout, we feel much more relaxed and much less stressed out because we have much more oxygen in our system. So all this is interrelated.
It's all related.
And I am actually fascinated by the product which I just brought into Kuwait. And I'm amazed that Kuwait was not introduced to this product before, because it has been around in Canada for quite some time, and many people benefited from it. Many people with different conditions benefited from it, and I have hundreds of testimonials from different people with different diseases, how this product has helped them in many different areas.
Right.
I would like
about,
I stopped at weight control because I feel this is
very
problem,
important,
very important, and the problem here. And oxygen helps a lot. But I would like to continue. Weight loss and control, beauty aid, angina attacks, bronchial infections, fibromyalgia, epilepsy and Alzheimer's, candida and yeast infections that are quite common, chronic fatigue syndrome, asthma and emphysema, sinus infections, poor circulation, energy level, joint pain, headaches, prostate problems, bladder infections, and so on. Aerobic oxygen acts the same as antibiotic, but with no side effects, because as I mentioned before, it does not kill the friendly bacteria. It has a way of dealing only with the bacteria that is harmful for us, and is actually one of very few products, actually is the only one that does not destroy the friendly bacteria.
Right, because once again we'd like to remind our viewers that this is a dietary supplement. It is natural, you know, so it's a natural dietary supplement. It's not a medication or a drug as we refer to it. You know, and it's a dietary supplement that has helped people in the symptoms that we have just, or the conditions that we've just mentioned.
Exactly, by building up your own immune system and helping deal with the problem that way.
Of course. Yes. And if you as you mentioned, of course, now we know that a lot of, let's say you've mentioned yeast infection, bladder infections, a lot of infections. Of course, these are all due to bacteria or viruses or whatever.
Of course.
Now, so the thing is, even when you go and take antibiotics, you know, they tell you, okay, well, this is for this and that's for that. And now, with this supplement, with the aerobic oxygen, it helps with any kind.
Any kind, of course.
Okay.
Because you oxygenate the system.
So it helps clean itself up.
Exactly. Also speeds up metabolism and detoxification of the system. So when you are detoxified, your body functions better. Your kidney works better, your liver.
Of course.
There are many applications of the use of aerobic oxygen, the major areas of its application is to kill off harmful organisms and at the same time increase the concentration of oxygen in your system. Most of us are depleted of oxygen. Now, what can you use this oxygen for? For purification of fluids also. Like if you add 5 drops for 8-ounce glass of water, you kill harmful bacteria. If you travel to different places where you are not so sure of what you're drinking, being a juice or water, you can put 5 drops into your drink and that kills harmful bacteria. I use on my toothbrush, not only I, but many of my clients and my children, that kills bacteria that causes cavities. If you deal with this kind of bacteria, only by using 2 or 3 drops on your toothbrush, you can use toothpaste on top of it, or I use just the oxygen itself, and I use it 3 times per day. But it's not necessary to use it 3 times per day. You can use it. You can use You can use it 2 or 3 times. Now, I introduced my children to using oxygen on their toothbrushes, and they do not have any cavities, which is a fantastic result. And you don't really have to visit your dentist.
Of course.
Many people also reported the removal of plaque. They did not have a buildup of plaque due to the use of oxygen. So they did not have to go for cleaning of the teeth.
As well. So as we can see, a lot of brilliant effects, and that has helped people in so many conditions. We're going to go for a short break and we'll be right back to talk more, so stay tuned. Okay, we're back once again, and Maria, we were talking about the different uses for the oxygen supplement, or the aerobic oxygen as it's called. So basically, we see that it affects so many things, and that means, well, which is, I think, the full understanding of everyone out there is that you live on oxygen. You need oxygen for various aspects of your life and of your bodily functions, the rejuvenation of your cells, to keep your body clean and detoxified, in order to detoxify your bodies. I'll put it, that's a simpler way of saying it. So there's so many uses of oxygen. Now, out of pure curiosity, let's say right now I'm a very lazy person. I suffer from fatigue, etc., etc., etc. But then I started trying to become a healthier person, eat a balanced diet where good nutrition, so getting good nutrition, getting a sufficient amount of exercise per day, let's say, whatever, if it's half an hour, an hour per day, whatever it is, depends on the person. And I'm still taking, and what helped me, let's say, get that energy was taking the oxygen supplement. Now, I'd be exposing myself to more oxygen now, right? I'm getting more oxygen into my system. Is there can you ever overdose on oxygen?
That's a very good question. Yes, you can ingest more oxygen than your body needs, but your body will dispose of it. Actually, when you do take more oxygen than your body utilizes, you will have loose stool. Therefore, you can have you can cut down on the use of oxygen,
supplement oxygen.
That's right. Or you can stay with the amount which you are taking, due to the fact that your body may be just cleansing itself. So you allow it to have loose stool for 2 or 3 days, and get rid of the toxic matter that has been accumulated in it. And then if it still persists, if the loose stool still persists, then you have to cut down on it.
Right.
But it is non-toxic, stabilized form of oxygen. What I mean by stabilized is that it stays in a cell and is utilized by the cell in the amount the cell requires. Any excess amount is disposed.
Okay.
Therefore, it does not accumulate.
Right. It has no side effects
No
whatsoever.
side effects whatsoever.
Okay.
And it's fantastic. It's portable. It's so easy to use. And actually, a person should start by using oxygen, start making changes into the lifestyle, because this will give much more energy than previously experienced, and probably raise interest in lifestyle and in learning different ways of dealing with either a problem or maintenance of the system.
Okay, so that's wonderful. So as you said, okay, now if I'm taking excess, if I was a regular person, lazy, I took the oxygen, it gave me a boost of energy to, let's say,
you would love
make
to
a better, make a better life for myself, and I end up getting that. And any excess you will tell, basically, but it has no harm. The only thing is that you might just get loose stool, and if it continues, then you cut down on the amount you're taking of the supplement itself.
Correct.
Okay. Yes. Now another thing is because that's something, of course, that you tell people, because you know, of course, each person, even as your the way you consult when it comes to nutrition, each person has a different, I mean, what would go for you, because you know all of these diets you see that are going around, they tell you, oh, this diet is revolutionary and you should try it. I think I've tried every single diet that has ever existed, okay? Yes. And they just don't work. What might work for me will not work for someone else because of your system, you know? Yeah. So basically, what you do is you focus on the people, the conditions they have, what kind of person they are, and on that, you know, let's say, for instance, you can suggest more or less of the drops.
Yes,
okay.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
But there is an average way a person can use this oxygen and see how they can adjust to themselves. Of course, someone who has cancer needs to take more than an average person.
Right.
A child needs to take less than an average person because of body weight. However, under certain circumstances, when a child is sick, has influenza or any kind of problem, then he or she has to take a little bit more. Oxygen can be also used for maintenance and health support. We can use 10 drops 3 times per day for health support. For athletic training, it gives you more energy so you can exercise and train. Recommended dosage is 20 to 30 drops 3 times per day. For energy and stamina and ill health is about 20 drops, also for the skin. Now, and for teeth, and of course children. Now, I would like to tell you how I use this oxygen since I have discovered it.
Wonderful.
It gave me tremendous benefits because I travel quite frequently to Canada and I am not tired. Also, I do not experience jet lag. I adjust very well by taking oxygen. I take 20 drops after my breakfast or before my breakfast in the morning to give me more energy. Before I go to my yoga classes, I want to have more energy, I use it as well. Sometimes I use 3 times per day, sometimes once or twice, but it doesn't really matter, depending on how I feel. If I need more energy, I use more often. I use on my toothbrush, and I have no problems with my teeth, also my gums. I visited my dentist quite some time ago, and she was of an opinion that I will have problem with my gums, and she didn't have any recommendation for the prevention of it. Now, since I started using aerobic oxygen and I brush quite well, I brush my gums and I brush my teeth, I have no problems with my gums. I also use in my cream. I use very simple cream which I bring from Canada. It's herbal. No chemicals, and I add oxygen drops to it, so it can be also used as beauty aid.
As a beauty aid.
Of course, it's fantastic.
It's a revolutionary breakthrough, as we mentioned, and what we're talking about today is all, of course, medically based on our system and our lifestyles. Unfortunately, we have completely run out of time. You know, like I'm getting, you know, yelling in my ears right now. But of course, if anybody has any questions or any comments, they can always email you. We'll have your email address.
Most welcome.
For our viewers, or they can just email us or fax us and we'll pass them on to you. But it has been wonderful to have you on our show again.
My pleasure.
Of course, we always learn from you know, your wonderful experience and all of your you know, advice that you have for us. And you know, we'd like to thank you one more time for being a guest on our show.
Thank you so much, Shema. It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
And if people can benefit from it, I'll be so happy.
I'm sure. Once again, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, dear viewers, we'd like to thank Mrs. Maria Garnett, a nutritional consultant, for being our guest for this evening. If you have any questions for her, or if you'd like to get more information, you can always email us or fax us, and we'll give you all the information required. We're now going to move on right here on Collage to where to go in our beloved Kuwait, right here in Kuwait. People are getting out more often. There's a lot of vacations and holidays and little bits and pieces taking place right here. I know that. So it's that time of the year where families will get together and have a great time. And we're now taking you to a really nice place, and it's the Little Forest. So stay tuned. The Yacht Club is considered one of the most important specialized clubs in the Arabian Gulf for yachts and boats. It's situated on the Arabian Gulf Avenue in El Shamia district next to Ash-Sha'ab Sea Club. It was inaugurated on February 1988 and it is 2,250 square meters. It includes 120,000 square meters of anchorage and capacity of 390 boats of different sizes, no less than 25 feet. The club works on membership basis. A specialized workshop for 3 qualified companies offer all the services related to maintenance for the boats. A big reception hall, Diwaniya, for members. A gas station, games and conference halls, a prayer hall for men, and a center for marine surveys. The club also includes a public slipway, El Shab slipway, that could be used for a daily fee of 1 KD. Special activities at the Yacht Club. The club holds an annual exhibit for boat and marine equipment. Also, the club organizes championships for speedboats. Okay, well, everyone out there is probably wondering, what's happened to the little forest? Well, that is completely my bad, right? Because we're trying to just get all these wonderful locations of where to go right here in Kuwait for you. We're putting them all together, so I'm like getting mixed up between a lot. But that's going to be coming up in future episodes right here on Collage, of course. But that was the Yacht Club and all of the information on it. I know lots of people love going out, especially on a beautiful winter morning. You know, a nice, when the sea is really nice out there, you've got a beautiful sun, and you go out there, and we were just talking about getting plenty of oxygen into your system. So it's a great time to be outdoors. Try to be outdoors as much as possible. Try to get as much physical activity as you can within the outdoors, because that way you get more oxygen. You get more oxygen, you become healthier people. So I guess it's all a link. Everything is a link. You know, each reaction we take has, you know, a reaction basically. So you do something, it definitely has something in advance, whether it's your nutrition, whether it's your lifestyle, whether it's just, you know, basically the way we live and the way we think. It's like a vicious circle. One thing leads to another. You know, your physical well-being leads to your emotional well-being, leads to your mental well-being. A lot of things are put together, and it's all affected by your lifestyle, your nutrition, and a lot of things when it comes to the environment as well. So hope you had fun on this week's collage. You know, I really enjoyed talking to Mrs. Gonnet, or Maria Gonnet. That was our guest for this evening. If you have any questions for her, please feel free to email us or fax us and we'll put them through. And basically that's all we have for you for this week. I hope you enjoyed the Yacht Club as well, not the Little Forest. We'll have that in later episodes for you right here on Collage. Till I see you again next week, take good care and goodbye.